We aren't the only kids who grew up this way. Surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called, and we got called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever, that we'd never meet someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in their tool shed. So broken heartstrings bled the blues as we tried to empty ourselves so we could feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something that surgeons can cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize. It does. She was 8 years old on our first day of grade 3 when she got called ugly. We both got moved to the back of the class where we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs. But the school halls were a battleground, and we found ourselves outnumbered day after wretched day. We used to stay inside for recess because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse running away or learning to stand still like statues, giving you no clues that we were there. In grade 5, they taped a sign to the front of her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she doesn't think that she's beautiful because of a birthmark that takes up a little less than half her face. Kids used to say she looks like a wrong answer that someone tried to raise but couldn't quite get the job done. And they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom. Because they see her heart before they see her skin, because she's never always been amazing. He was a broken branch grafted onto a different family tree. Adopted, not because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was 3 when he became a mixture of 1 part left alone and 2 parts tragedy. Started therapy in 8th grade, had a personality made up of tests and pills, lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliffs, 4/5 suicidal, a tidal wave of antidepressants, and an adolescence of being called pauper. 1 part because of the cruelty, 99 parts because of the cruelty. He tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who could still go home to mom and dad had the audacity to tell him, "Get over it." As if depression is something that can be remedied by any of the contents found in a first aid kit. To this day, he's a stick of TNT lit from both ends. Could describe to you in detail the way in which the sky bends in the moment before it's about to fall. And despite an army of friends who will call him an inspiration, he remains a conversation piece between people who can't understand that sometimes being drug-free has less to do with addiction and more to do with sanity. We aren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are still being called names. The classics were "Hey Stupid," "Hey Spaz." Seems like each school has an arsenal of names getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks in school and no one chooses to listen, do they make a sound? Are they the background noise of a soundtrack stuck on repeat when people say things like kids can be cruel? Every school has a big top circus tent, and the pecking order went from acrobats to lion tamers, clownies to carnies. All of these were miles ahead from who we were. We were freaks, lobster claw boys and bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitaire, spinning the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves so we could heal. And at night, while others slept, we were walking the tightrope, and yes, some of us fell. But all of that was just debris left over when we decided to smash the things we thought we used to be. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, get a better mirror, look a little closer, stare a little longer. Because there's something inside of you that made you keep trying despite everyone telling you to quit. You built a cast around your heart, and you signed it they were wrong. because maybe you didn't belong to a group or a clique. Maybe they decided to pick you last for basketball and everything. Maybe you brought bruises and broken teeth to show and tell, but never told. Because how can you hold your ground and everyone wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe that they were wrong. They've got to be wrong. Why else would we still be here? We grew up learning to cheer on the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We stem from a root planted in the belief that we are not what we are called. We are the graduating members of the class. We made it. Not the faded echoes of voices crying out words will never hurt me. Of course they did. But our lives will only, ever, always be a balancing act that has less to do with pain and more to do with beauty.